What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So in this video today, we are going to be talking about the brand new Sugo Fest that was just teased earlier today, when we went over to the 6th anniversary countdown website. They teased this specific Sugo Fest, and we weren't too sure if we we're going to get the data download today or tomorrow. Luckily, it is today, so we can make a video on it, and oh my lord, these characters are crazy, dude. This countdown celebration has introduced some of the most wildest characters in the game, and they don't disappoint once again. These characters are very, very strong. So we are going to be talking about each and every one of these characters in great detail. We will start off with the regular rare recruits though. So the first one here is a brand new Kuma. I love the artwork for this. I think a lot of people would have wanted this character to be a legend in this current art form. Looks very, very good. But he is a Psi cerebral powerhouse character. So that is going to be a common theme with this batch of Psi units and strength units, as well as cerebrals and fighters. Those are the main theming of this particular batch. So I didn't actually translate the regular rare recruit captain abilities because they're typically not that important. We'll start off with Kuma and his abilities. So he has two sailor abilities of 50 HP to cerebral, and he cannot be blown away, so that's not too bad. And then he also has a really cool special ability. So 14 turn cooldown. So I have it translated here. Now these translations may be incorrect. These are my personal translations. So take these with a grain of salt. We're going to wait for like official translations to come out. But I'm pretty confident in what I've translated here. Either way, he'll go ahead and boost the chain multiplier by 0.6 for 3 turns, which is not terrible. He also recovers 5,000 HP at the end of each turn for 3 turns. And then he has an added effect where it says after 2 turns of launching this special, he will change cerebral or powerhouse character slots into matching. This is very, very key, especially for one of the future characters that we're going to be talking about. To get a guaranteed full border matching slots, it's only to cerebral and powerhouse specifically, but that's still very good, right? Now, this activates after 2 turns. Now, people who are playing on Global may not understand what this means, but there is a new character that just released on JP. It's a brand new Kizuna Gecko Moria, and with his special ability, he actually inputs a new buff on your team. It's a countdown timer, and basically says after a certain amount of turns, a certain effect will activate on your team. So this is what happens. So after you launch the special, you'll get a clock with a 2-turn countdown timer. After those 2 turns have expired, this ability will activate. This is really good because you can stack it over like certain special abilities where you need to hit a certain amount of perfects during that turn, and you can carry it through enemy preemptive attacks as well. Very, very important special ability, especially for one of the legends that we'll talk about a little bit later on. So Kuma looks relatively impressive. I like the way that he's built. He's not a terrible unit. He's not a god tier rare recruit, but he's just good, right? He does have potential abilities of 5 turns of recovery bind resistance and also 7 turns of slot bind resistance. His support ability is nothing crazy, just stats and damage reduction, nothing too crazy there. So let's move on to the next one, is a brand new Heracles. So Heracles is a strength cerebral striker. Again, I didn't translate his captain ability, but we'll go through his other effects. So his crewmate abilities is plus 50 attack to strength and psi, and if your captain is strength or psi, he makes strength and psi characters' deck slots have matching slot effects. That's a really good crewmate ability to have. This entire batch is obviously strength and psi related, so you just get a free guaranteed matching slot, which is fantastic. So his special ability on an 11-turn cooldown will go ahead and recover all turns of poison. He also reduces burn duration by 4 turns, and when your crew has at least 5 characters that are strength or psi, he boosts strength and psi slot effects by 2 times for 2 turns. Wow, so good. Like, just an amazing character, just getting a free 2 times or boost for multiple turns. It would have been awesome if it was for 3 turns so you can carry through multiple stages, but still, 2 times slot effects is fantastic. Really, really nice to have. And then some utility of reducing poison and burn. He seems okay. I think he's definitely one of the best Heracles characters in the games, that's for sure. He does have 5% dex damage reduction and removing slot bind by 7 turns. And his also support ability is also damage reduction and some stat boosting as well. So again, nothing overly amazing, but a decent character, decent overall character. So the last rare recruit before we talk about the Sugo Fest exclusives is going to be this Ivankov. So this Ivankov is a Psi fighter cerebral. He does have the 2 crewmate abilities of plus 50 attack and recovery to cerebral, and also he will go ahead and recover 5 turns of special bind on himself, which is very good because with his special ability he'll go ahead and state reduces special bind by 5 turns. He also removes 5 turns of enemies increased defense, which is the blue shield, which is also very good actually because you notice with this batch there isn't a lot of utility of removing enemy defensive effects, and you'll see why, because you don't really need to worry about enemy defensive effects with some of these characters here. Also changes recovery and battle badly matching slots into matching. So another really good piece of utility there to just change your orbs around. So recovery, oh, I didn't actually miss that. It's recovery and tandem. So I'm going to have to do some live translations right there. That is actually a tandem slot as well. So it's recovery, tandem, and badly matching slots are changed into matching, which is really good. Really, really nice to have. 5% damage reduction against int, and then also 7 turns. Yeah, 7 turns of slot bind resistance, and again a support ability that is 5% stats to someone. I don't know, probably Inazuma or something like that. I don't know, I'm not really too sure. Either way, it doesn't really matter too much. So those are the rare recruits. They all seem relatively okay. Like, they're not terrible in any sense of the word, but they're not too bad either. Now we got the big bad boy himself. Now, I think Rayleigh's really cool. A lot of people are saying that they prefer the Mihawk and Perona. I can definitely understand why. Mihawk has some really cool things. This guy has some pretty cool things. So let's go ahead and talk about this guy first. I love the artwork for this guy. I mentioned it in my video earlier today. I love the artwork for this Rayleigh. The fact that it's got the Luffy attack in the background there. Oh, he looks so good. So let's talk about Rayleigh. So Rayleigh is a Psi cerebral fighter. He'll have, is this with Limit Break Plus? He probably has a Limit Break Plus, yeah. So his attack's a little bit on the lower side as it stands right now, unless if this doesn't include Limit Break Plus. Not really too sure, but if this is just regular generic without the Limit Break Plus, which I think it is, he'll go ahead and have 2075, so likely 2200-ish attack, which is not too bad. But I want to look at his captain ability. His captain ability is crazy good. I'm going to go ahead and just show the captain ability first. So, his captain ability will go ahead and boost cerebral and fighter characters' attack by 4 times and reduce damage taken by 15%. He increases the chances of you landing a matching slot and then boosts their attack by 4.75 times instead during the turn King's Command is used. Now, King's Command is his special ability name. So I've paused the video here because I actually got additional translations as I was editing this video right now, and we actually do know at this current point in time that he does not boost the entire team's attack by 4.75 after you use his special. It's only his own attack that will go ahead and get boosted by 4.75 times instead. So in my personal opinion, it makes his captain ability borderline trash. 4 times attack and 15% damage reduction is still good, but the fact that his own attack is only boosted up to 4.75 times, I think I would have preferred it if everyone's attack was boosted up to 4.5. That would have made it a little bit better. Either way, it makes his captain ability a little bit less desirable. But saying that though, he still has a great sub usage, as with his special ability and his crewmate abilities, as you guys are about to see, he's very strong. So let's go ahead and talk about his special, right? So it's a 13 turn cooldown. Lots of text here, so let me go ahead and break it down for you. Here we go. So, special ability deals 250 times his attack in non-type damage to one enemy that ignores all defensive effects. That's a lot of damage, by the way. So he does that. Then he boosts cerebral and fighter characters' attack and slot effects by 2 times for 1 turn. Very good. Then, normal attacks bypass defensive effects during this turn. What? All of your normal attacks are bypassing all defensive effects, which is what I was talking about a little earlier with the rare recruits. None of them reduce threshold, rainbow shield, barriers, etc. You don't need it with this batch. If you have this Rayleigh and you use his special ability, you ignore defensive effects with your characters. However, there is a caveat which says, if you use this special, you cannot launch another special. And if you've already launched another special during this turn, you can't activate this special ability. So that is the big downside here, is you are restricted to only using his special ability during his turn, right? Which also brings back Takuma Rare Recruit, which we talked about a little earlier. After 2 turns, he gives you a full board of matching orbs for cerebral and powerhouse characters. So if you're running that, it means that, you can carry it into the final boss room, you'll get a guaranteed full board of matching orbs, and that won't activate enemy interrupts either. And then you can have the ability here of getting 2 times attack and orb boost, and then you can bypass all defensive effects. Very interesting. The only thing that I'm really worried about though is what kind of content is going to be built around this? Is this going to be kind of like some crazy content where there's a bunch of barriers and rainbow shields and stuff, and it's really difficult to clear? Because having something like this has me worried, that's for sure, definitely. But very interesting unit, I've got to say. This unit's crazy. The fact that you can get such a high attack boost and damage reduction, and he's got the ability to be his crew's own attack and orb booster. And you gotta remember, he's boosting cerebral and fighters. That's some of the best classes in the game. Cerebral specifically have a bunch of different support units nowadays. So this is really good to see, though I would have preferred it if we got a little bit more support for some of the other classes. You'll see with the other characters. The other character being Mihawk Perona are a color-based captain. This guy's a class-based captain, so I like that there is a variety between the two in this batch. But yeah, intriguing. Very, very intriguing. I love the way he's built, though. It would have been nice if you could activate at least one other special during the turn you use his abilities. So it means you definitely want to be utilizing characters that have multi-turn effects, like a Chain Locker for 3 turns, or some sort of conditional boost for multiple turns, or a color affinity for multiple turns. That's kind of like what you want to be going with here. But even still, with his special alone, with his captain ability, that's going to provide you with a lot of damage output by itself. And as I was saying, I really hope the chances of him increasing your matching slots is relatively high. So it means you don't have to bring a character dedicated to giving you a full water matching orbs. But the way that I'm thinking about it, I do think that's probably going to be the case. I feel like a character giving you some matching slots is going to be kind of a requirement here. But either way, I love the way he's built. He looks very, very interesting. So let's talk about the last character of the batch, which is the Mihawk and Perona. Now, they are very, very interesting once again, because they actually have a new debuff that they can apply to the enemy, which is very, very cool. So here we have the Mihawk and Perona. We'll talk about Mihawk first. So Mihawk is a strength cerebral slasher. His captain ability will go ahead and state he's going to boost strength and side characters' attack by 3.5 times if they have a matching slot. If they don't, it's still a 3 times boost. He also gives them a 1.3 times health boost, and psi characters will treat strength slots as beneficial and reduces your chances of landing in a recovery and tandem slot. So this is a big key thing here with this particular character, is you don't want to be getting recovery and tandem slots. You want to be trying to get type slots, like all the colored orbs. That's what you want to be trying to aiming to do here, and you'll see why just in a little bit. Now, Perona, on the other hand, is a little bit different. So Perona's captain ability will go ahead and boost strength and psi characters' attack by 3.25, and then still get the health boost of 1.3, and then strength orbs will be counted as beneficial to, psi orbs are beneficial to strength characters, and reduces the chances of recovery in tandem. So Perona is a psi cerebral driven. So there you go. So those are the captain abilities of the base form of this unit. When you combine into the dual form, their captain ability does go up quite a lot. So the captain ability boosts the attack of strength and psi by 4.5 with a matching slot 4 times otherwise. Boosts their HP by 1.3 and makes all type slots beneficial and reduces the chances of landing on a recovery and tandem slot. So with the way that this is built is you're basically getting a base 4.5 pretty much all the time, unless if you specifically get recovery, tandem, or block, or whatever it is. There are ways around that though. You'll see that in a little bit once again, but very, very interesting. Now I want to talk about their switch ability before we talk about their special, because the special might seem a little bit confusing. You got to see the swap effect first. So the swap effect is what introduces the new debuff. So as for their swap effect, right here, changes their own slot into matching, already really good. Heals 1500 HP flat, also very, very good. Makes all enemies negative for 1 turn. So this is the brand new debuff in the game. Now, obviously, this comes from Perona. Perona will go ahead and activate a negative effect. Now, what this does is when it is applied to the enemy, it reduces their attack and defensive stats by 20%, which is very good, by the way. Now, it mentions that it reduces their attack and defense by 20%, but we don't know if it actually comes up with like a shield with a cross through it that actually reduces their defense, or if it's like a new icon, which I think it's going to be a new icon, which means that you can't bring like a defensive conditional boost with this. But you'll see in a little bit anyway. So yeah, this negative debuff is very interesting. And then it says that when there are 2 or more enemies, it negates the enemy's immunity buffs and then applies negative for 1 turn. So you can guarantee yourself a full negative effect if there are 2 or more enemies, which is very important for their special ability, which we will talk about. So that switch ability is fantastic. Really, really good. So this special ability is crazy because it reduces all enemies' HP by 20%. Yes, it's 20%. Also changes block and badly matching slots into matching, which is fine, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense that they change badly matching slots into matching, because even if it's a badly matching slot, it's going to be counted as beneficial when they're in their dual form anyway. It's very, very weird. But then again, if you get negative orb enable, that can be very useful, I suppose, so it is what it is. So then you boost attack against negative enemies by 2 times for 1 turn, bro. This is the big thing here, is because you can guarantee yourself a 2 times conditional boost. Like, as long as there's 2 or more enemies, you can guarantee yourself the 2 times conditional boost. This is extremely strong. Initially, I thought when I first translated this that like this was a new attack boost that could be stacked on top of other conditional boosts, but I don't think that's the case. That wouldn't make much sense. That'd be like way too overpowered. So as it stands, it's a conditional boost against negative debuffed enemies, which of course their switch ability does provide. Also, we'll go ahead and become Perona and Mihawk for 3 turns. So, yeah, to basically sum it up, they're a strengthened side captain, and you get lots of beneficial slots with them, and they change block orbs, and you get a new debuff with their switch ability, and a 2x conditional boost against that with their special. So, I love it. I love it. I think that they're a fantastic rare recruit, man. Something that I didn't really mention earlier as well with this brand new Rayleigh, he does have the ability to reduce his own cooldown. So if you max this out, he reduces his own cooldown by 5 turns at the start of the quest, which is very good because if you're running just with cooldown sockets plus this, that's 7 turns of cooldown reduction at the start of the fight. And if hypothetically you're going to be running the host ship, that's an additional an additional turn, which will equal up to 8 turns of cooldown reduction at the start of the fight for this guy, which is actually really good. He does also have pinch healing as well, 1.5 times recovery below 50%, and his recovery stats is very, very good. Most Rayleighs have really good recovery stats. And as for this character, they have recovery bind resistance by 5 turns, which is very weak. 10 turn reduction of slot bind, and they have the best critical hit in the game where it's guaranteed crit, 10% extra damage when you hit it perfect. So very, very strong. I'm a big fan of this. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think about these brand new dual legend and the new Rayleigh. I love the way that they're built. You know, Rayleigh does have a little bit of a restriction where you can only use his special in that turn. So if you plan your team around using that Rayleigh, you could actually be very devastating, because you got to remember, when you launch that special, you are going through every defensive effect with your normal attacks, which is huge. So man, this is nuts. I love it. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.